Before you listen to anyone else, listen to this carefully. Your life is not stuck because you are weak. Your life feels stuck because your power is scattered. You are giving too much of yourself to the wrong people, the wrong emotions, and the wrong battles. You talk about your plans too early. You react too fast. You explain yourself too much. And slowly, day by day, your energy drains. Not because life is unfair, but because you are leaking your power. This message is not here to hype you for a moment. It is here to wake you up. Because 2026 is not the year to talk more. It is the year to become stronger in silence. Look at your life honestly. How many times have you shared your goals with someone and walked away feeling smaller instead of motivated? How many times have you argued, defended yourself, or tried to prove your worth, only to feel tired afterward? That tiredness is not physical. It is spiritual and mental exhaustion. It is the cost of wasted power. Powerful people do not waste their energy explaining who they are. They let time and results speak. Most people think power is loud. They think power means shouting, showing, posting, reacting. But real power is quiet. Real power is calm. Real power does not rush to respond. It observes first. Think about a lion. It does not bark like dogs. It does not chase everything. It waits. It watches. And when it moves, it is precise. That is the kind of power you need in 2026. Right now, many of you are fighting invisible battles. You are fighting doubt in your own mind. You are fighting pressure from family, friends, society. You are fighting fear that time is running out. And because of that fear, you speak too much. You try to convince people you are serious. You try to explain your dreams so they feel real. But here is the truth. The more you talk about your dreams, the less energy you have to build them. Silence does not mean weakness. Silence means control. It means you are strong enough to hold your vision without needing approval. It means you trust yourself even when nobody claps for you. That is hard. That is why most people cannot do it. They need noise to feel alive. They need validation to feel important. But the strongest version of you does not need permission. Let this sink in. Every time you react emotionally, you give your power away. Every time you argue with someone who does not respect you, you lower yourself. Every time you explain your plans to people who do not support you, you weaken your focus. Silence is not about hiding. Silence is about protecting your energy. In 2026, your biggest growth will come from what you stop doing. Stop oversharing. Stop reacting to disrespect. Stop proving yourself to people who already decided not to believe in you. You do not need to convince anyone. Your job is not to be understood. Your job is to become so strong that understanding becomes irrelevant. Think about this. The world is full of people who talk a lot and do very little. And it is also full of people who said almost nothing and changed everything. History does not remember noise. History remembers results. If you want a powerful year, you must become comfortable working quietly. There will be days when nobody notices your effort. Days when you feel invisible. Days when you want to shout, I am trying. Those are the most important days. Because power is built in moments when nobody is watching. Confidence is built when you keep going without applause. Strength is built when you stay silent and disciplined. You do not need to announce your plans for 2026. You do not need to tell people you are changing. You do not need to warn anyone about your comeback. Just start. Wake up earlier. Train your mind. Improve your skills. Control your emotions. And keep your mouth closed. Let your habits speak. Many people fail not because they lack ability, but because they lack focus. Focus comes from silence. When you stop listening to everyone, you start hearing yourself. When you stop explaining, you start executing. When you stop reacting, you start leading your own life. Ask yourself this tonight. Where is my power going? Is it going into growth? Or is it going into drama? Is it going into discipline? Or is it going in distractions? Your answers will decide how strong you become in 2026. This is not about becoming cold. This is about becoming clear. Clear about your goals. Clear about your boundaries. Clear about where your energy belongs. Silence gives you that clarity, and clarity gives you power. Remember this one thing, people seek attention. Powerful people build quietly. In 2026, choose to be powerful. Focus on your power. Stay silent. And let your life do the talking. Real power begins the moment you stop letting the outside world control the inside of your mind. Most people think power is about muscles, money, status, or followers. But the strongest people are not always the richest or the loudest. They are the ones who have control over themselves, control over their thoughts, control over their emotions, control over their reactions. That control is rare, and that is why it is powerful. You see, life does not defeat most people. People defeat themselves. They wake up with potential, but they give it away before noon. They give it to negative news. They give it to toxic conversations. They give it to comparisons on social media. They give it to people who do not even care about their growth. And by the end of the day, they feel powerless. Not because they did nothing, but because they wasted their energy everywhere. If you truly want to change your life in 2026, you must first understand this truth. Your power is limited every day. You wake up with a certain amount of mental and emotional energy. The question is not whether you have power. The question is where you are spending it. Are you spending it on building yourself, or are you spending it on reacting to things that do not matter? Most people react. Someone says something negative and they react. Someone doubts them and they react. Someone disrespects them and they react. Reaction feels strong in the moment, but it is actually weakness. Because when you react, someone else controls your emotions. When someone else controls your emotions, they control your power. Silence, on the other hand, is strength. Silence gives you time. Silence gives you clarity. Silence gives you control. When you stay silent, you choose your response instead of giving an automatic reaction. And that choice is power. Think about the times in your life when you regretted speaking. You said something in anger. You explained yourself too much. You trusted the wrong person with your plans. And later, you wished you had stayed quiet. That regret is a lesson. Life was teaching you that not every thought needs a voice, and not every emotion needs an audience. Strong people understand this early. Weak people learn it after damage is done. One of the biggest reasons people feel powerless today is because they talk too much about their goals. They announce their plans before they are ready. They seek validation instead of progress. When people praise them, they feel good for a moment. But when people doubt them, their motivation drops. Their power becomes dependent on opinions. That is a dangerous way to live. Your goals are fragile in the beginning. They need protection, not exposure. When a seed is planted, you do not dig it up every day to show people. You cover it, you water it, you protect it from damage. Only when it grows strong do you let the world see it. Your goals are the same. Silence is the soil where they grow. Many people listening right now feel frustrated because they know they can do more. They know they are capable of better. But they feel stuck. Let me tell you something clearly. You are not stuck. You are distracted. And distraction is the enemy of power. Distraction comes in many forms. Endless scrolling, meaningless conversations, arguments that go nowhere, explaining yourself to people who already judged you. All of this feels normal, but it slowly destroys your focus. And without focus, power cannot exist. Focus is what turns effort into results. Focus is what turns dreams into discipline. Focus is what separates people who talk from people who build. And focus grows in silence. When you reduce noise, your mind becomes sharper. When your mind becomes sharper, your decisions improve. When your decisions improve, your life changes. It all starts with learning when to speak and when to stay quiet. Let us talk honestly about emotions. Emotions are not bad, but uncontrolled emotions are dangerous. Anger, jealousy, insecurity, fear. When these emotions control your actions, you lose power. You say things you cannot take back. You make decisions you later regret. You damage relationships and opportunities. Powerful people feel emotions, but they do not let emotions control them. They pause. They breathe, they think. They choose silence when silence is the smarter option. That pause is not weakness. That pause is maturity. In 2026, emotional control will be one of your greatest strengths. Not everyone needs to know what you are feeling. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. The less people know about your struggles, the less they can use them against you. Silence is armor. Look at your past conflicts. How many of them actually improved your life? How many arguments truly changed someone's mind? Most arguments only create stress, enemies, and regret, yet people keep arguing because their ego wants to win. Ego wants noise. Power wants results. When you choose results over ego, your life starts to shift. Another hard truth is this: not everyone wants to see you grow. Some people smile at you but secretly hope you fail. When you talk too much, you give them information. When you stay silent, you stay unpredictable. And unpredictability is power. You do not need to announce your moves. You do not need to explain your strategy. You do not need to share your next step. Work quietly. Improve silently. Let people be surprised by your results. There is a deep peace that comes with silence. When you stop explaining yourself, you stop carrying unnecessary weight. You stop trying to meet expectations that were never meant for you. You start living on your own terms. Many people fear silence because they are afraid of being misunderstood. But let me tell you this clearly. Being misunderstood is better than being distracted. Being doubted is better than being drained. You do not owe clarity to everyone. You owe commitment to yourself. In this phase of your life, especially as 2026 approaches, your main responsibility is not to impress people. It is to improve yourself. Every hour you spend talking about what you will do is an hour you could spend becoming stronger. Strong routines create strong people. Strong habits create strong minds. And strong minds create powerful lives. None of this is built through noise. It is built through repetition, discipline, and silence. There will be days when you feel lonely on this path. When you stop oversharing, some people will feel uncomfortable. When you stop reacting, some people will try harder to provoke you. That is a sign you are changing. Do not fall back into old patterns just to make others comfortable. Growth often looks like distance. Distance from drama. Distance from negativity, distance from useless conversations. That distance gives you space to breathe, think, and build. Remember this. Power is not about controlling others. Power is about controlling yourself. When you master yourself, nothing outside can easily break you. Insults lose their effect. Opinions lose their weight. Pressure loses its grip. You become calm in chaos, focused in noise, strong in silence. This is how your transformation begins. Not with a loud announcement, not with a big speech, but with a quiet decision. A decision to protect your energy, a decision to control your emotions, a decision to focus on your power. And this is only the beginning. The moment you decide to protect your power, your life starts to change in ways that are slow but deep. At first, nothing outside looks different. People still behave the same. Problems still exist. Challenges still show up. But something inside you shifts. You stop feeling the urge to explain everything. You stop feeling the need to react to every comment. You stop wasting your strength on things that do not move your life forward. This inner shift is quiet, but it is powerful. Most people never experience this phase because they quit too early. They think silence is doing nothing. They think if they are not talking, they are losing. But silence is not emptiness. Silence is preparation. Silence is where clarity is born. Silence is where discipline grows. Let us talk about discipline, because discipline is power in action. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you feel inspired, some days you feel tired, but discipline shows up every day, especially on days you do not feel like it. Discipline is waking up and doing what must be done, even when nobody is watching, even when nobody cares. That kind of consistency builds unshakable confidence. Confidence built through discipline is different from confidence built through praise. Praise disappears when people stop clapping. Discipline-based confidence stays with even in silence. You trust yourself because you know what you do daily. You know your effort. You know your grind. That trust is power. In 2026, many people will still be chasing shortcuts. They will look for fast success, quick money, overnight recognition. They will talk big and move small. You must choose a different path. the path of quiet work, the path of steady improvement, the path of patience. Patience is another form of power that most people lack. They want results now. They want respect now. They want validation now. But anything valuable takes time, and silence teaches patience. When you stop announcing your journey, you stop expecting instant rewards. You allow yourself to grow naturally. Think about a mountain. It does not rush. It does not compete. It does not explain its height. It stands still, and over time it becomes unmovable. That is the mindset you need. Calm. Grounded. Focused. One of the hardest lessons you will learn in this journey is that not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone deserves your energy, your time, your emotions. When you start protecting your power, you will naturally create boundaries. And boundaries will upset people who benefited from your weakness. Some people liked you when you were always available. Some people liked you when you always listened, but were never heard. Some people liked you when you explained yourself and accepted disrespect. When you change, they will call you cold, distant, or selfish. Do not let that stop you. You are not changing to please them. You are changing to save yourself. Boundaries are not walls. Boundaries are doors with locks. You decide who enters and who stays outside, and that decision gives you peace. Peace is another misunderstood form of power. Many people live in constant chaos. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, their mind is always racing. Their heart is always heavy. They think this is normal. It is not. Peace comes when your life is aligned with your values, when your actions match your goals, when your energy is not wasted. Silence brings peace because it removes unnecessary conflict. When you stop arguing, your mind becomes lighter. When you stop explaining, your heart becomes calmer. When you stop reacting, your emotions become stable. With peace comes better decisions. With better decisions comes progress. And with progress comes confidence. This is how power compounds. You must also understand that silence does not mean avoiding action. Silence without action is useless. The goal is silent execution. Work so hard that your results eventually introduce you. Train your body, sharpen your skills, strengthen your mind, improve your habits. Do all of this quietly. There will be moments when you doubt yourself, moments when you wonder if staying silent is the right move, especially when you see others getting attention by being loud. Remember this, attention is temporary. Power is permanent. Many loud people fade quickly. Silent builders last long. Do not confuse visibility with value. Some of the most valuable things in the world are hidden. Gold is underground. Roots grow in darkness. Strength is built in private. Your growth does not need an audience. Another important lesson in this phase is learning to sit with discomfort. Silence can feel uncomfortable at first. When you stop talking, you hear your thoughts more clearly. You notice your fears. You notice your insecurities. You notice the excuses you have been making. That can be uncomfortable. But discomfort is a sign of growth. Most people avoid silence because it forces self-reflection. And self-reflection demands responsibility. It shows you where you are wasting time. It shows you where you are avoiding effort. It shows you where you need to improve. Instead of running from that, face it. That honesty with yourself will make you stronger than any motivational speech. As you move forward, you will start to notice something powerful. The less you speak, the more people listen when you finally do. The less you react, the more your presence is felt. The less you explain, the more respect you gain. Silence changes how the world responds to you. People respect what they cannot easily access. When you are always available, your value feels low. When you become selective, your value rises. This is not manipulation. This is self-respect. You must also let go of the need to be liked by everyone. That need is a trap. It makes you compromise your values. It makes you say yes when you should say no. It makes you talk when you should stay quiet. Freedom begins when you accept that some people will not understand you, and that is okay. Your job is not to be liked. Your job is to become capable. Capability is power. When you are capable, you do not fear rejection. You do not fear loss. You do not fear opinions. Because you know you can rebuild. You know you can adapt. you know you can survive. This mindset changes everything. You stop chasing approval and start chasing mastery. You stop wasting time on drama and start investing time in growth. You stop talking about change and start becoming the change. There is also strength in observing more and speaking less. When you listen, you learn. When you observe, you understand patterns. You see who is real and who is fake. You see who supports you and who only uses you. Silence sharpens your awareness. Many mistakes in life happen because people talk before they observe. They trust before they verify. They react before they understand. Silence slows you down just enough to make smarter moves. As 2026 moves closer, remind yourself daily of this truth. You do not need to prove anything to anyone. You need to build something for yourself. Every day you protect your power. You move one step closer to the life you want. This journey is not easy. But easy lives create weak people. Hard, focused, silent work creates strong people. And strong people shape their future instead of complaining about it. You are no longer here to entertain opinions. You are here to build a life of strength, a life of control, a life of quiet confidence. And this journey is far from over. When you reach this stage of your journey, something important begins to happen. You no longer feel the need to rush. You no longer feel the pressure to compete with everyone. You start moving at your own pace, and that pace feels right. This is a sign that your power is returning. Not the loud, desperate kind of power, but the calm, grounded kind that cannot be shaken easily. Most people spend their lives chasing validation. They want to be seen, heard, and praised. When they do not get it, they feel empty. But when you focus on your power and stay silent, you stop depending on external approval. You become self-driven. You do things because they matter to you, not because someone is watching. That shift alone can change your entire life. One of the greatest freedoms you will experience is emotional independence. Emotional independence means your mood is no longer controlled by other people's behavior. Someone can criticize you and you remain calm. Someone can ignore you and you remain focused. Someone can doubt you and you continue working. This is not arrogance. This is strength. Emotional independence comes from knowing yourself, from understanding your values, from trusting your process. And silence plays a major role in this. When you stop sharing every thought and feeling, you give yourself time to process them properly. You respond with wisdom instead of impulse. In this phase, you also stop wasting time on revenge. You realize that the best response to disrespect is improvement. The best reply to doubt is success. The best answer to negativity is growth. Silence saves you from unnecessary battles and redirects your energy toward building something meaningful. There is a powerful truth you must accept. Not everyone will clap for you, even when you succeed. Some people will feel uncomfortable with your growth because it reminds them of their own inaction. When that happens, stay silent. Let your consistency speak. Let your discipline speak. Let your life speak. As you grow stronger, your circle will naturally become smaller. This is not a loss. This is alignment. You will stop tolerating fake support, shallow conversations, and negative energy. You will value quality over quantity. One honest conversation will matter more than 100 empty ones. This is maturity. Silence also teaches you humility. When you stop talking about your achievements, you stay grounded. You stay hungry. You stay focused. Ego is one of the biggest enemies of power. Ego wants recognition. Ego wants attention. Ego wants to be right. But power wants progress. Progress happens quietly. Progress happens when you show up every day, even when it is boring, even when it is painful, even when nobody notices. Those small, repeated actions compound over time and create massive change. Let us talk about fear, because fear never fully disappears. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of wasting time. The difference now is that fear no longer controls you. You move forward despite it. Silence helps with this because when you stop listening to everyone, fear has less fuel. Fear grows in noise. Courage grows in focus. You will also realize that not every opportunity is meant for you. When you are desperate for validation, you say yes to everything. When you are powerful, you become selective. You choose opportunities that align with your long-term goals. You say no without guilt. That ability to say no is power. In 2026, the world will be louder than ever. More opinions, more distractions, more pressure to show, post, and prove. Your advantage will be your ability to disconnect and focus. While others are reacting, you will be building. While others are complaining, you will be improving. While others are chasing attention, you will be creating value. Value is what ultimately defines power. When you create value, people respect you without you asking. Opportunities come to you without you chasing. Trust builds naturally, but value is created through skill, discipline, and effort, not through noise. Another important realization is this: time is your most valuable asset. When you talk less, argue less, explain less, you gain time. Time to think, time to learn, time to practice rest, time to plan. That extra time compounds into growth. Many people waste years of their life in emotional drama. Years arguing with the wrong people. Years proving themselves to the wrong audience. Years explaining dreams that never turn into action. Do not be one of them. Choose a different path. There will be moments when you feel like giving up. Moments when progress feels slow. Moments when silence feels lonely. In those moments, remind yourself why you started. You started because you wanted control over your life. You started because you wanted strength. You started because you were tired of being drained. Strength is built by staying the course when it is hard. Anyone can stay silent when things are easy. Power is staying silent when you are provoked. Power is staying focused when you are tempted. Power is staying disciplined when you are tired. By the end of 2026, if you stay committed to this path, you will not recognize the old version of yourself. You will think differently. You will react differently. You will live differently. Not because you became louder, but because you became stronger. People will ask you what changed. They will say you seem calmer, more confident, more focused. You will not need to explain. Your presence will answer for you. This is the reward of focusing on your power and staying silent. You gain respect without demanding it. You gain peace without chasing it. You gain confidence without proving it. Remember this forever. The world will try to pull you into noise. Do not let it. Protect your energy like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Your future depends on the choices you make today, the habits you build today, the discipline you practice today. Choose silence over reaction. Choose focus over distraction. Choose growth over comfort. And let your life become the proof. This is not the end. This is the beginning of a stronger, quieter, unstoppable you.